Welcome to CARES. For us, it's always been a lifestyle to manufacture floors, ever since we started in 1857. Our 150-year-old history means that we're one of the oldest manufacturer of wood flooring, and today we're also Europe's biggest. We invented the modern wood floor in 1941. The multi-layered wood floor construction gained instant popularity and is now used in wood floor manufacturing worldwide. Over the years, we have strived to capture the intrinsic beauty and expression of wood. We have learned to combine this beauty with different types of leading floor technology in order to produce high-quality wood floors, which are durable, stable, and easy to install. Today, there are CARES floors in a number of wood species. They also come in 3 versions. One strip, which means that the whole board is made in one piece. 2 strip, when the board is made up by 2 horizontal strips, and the 3-strip floor with 3 horizontal strips. But how does the manufacturing process work? Come with us on a journey to Nybro, deep in the forest of Småland, on the same spot where it all began 150 years ago. This is the place which boasts the biggest forest in Sweden, which makes it an ideal place for CARES modern factory. It all begins in the forest. We cooperate with forest owners from all over Sweden who look after and renew their forests through meticulous felling, harvesting what previous generations have achieved. They also make sure that they take effective and environmental friendly measures to ensure the future of their forests. When the forest owner has delivered his lumber to us, he has a rough idea of the quality and quantity he has delivered. In order not to raise any questions regarding the assessment of the log, an independent organization inspects the log here at CARES. The log is put on a conveyor and starts off by passing through a metal detector. Afterwards, its diameter and length are measured in order to calculate its volume. This is followed by an ocular inspection to search for defects such as frost rings or rotten branches. At a press of a button, data from measuring the log is transferred to the forester's computer central, describing what has been measured and who has delivered the log. Afterwards, the logs are sorted into different piles according to their diameter and quality. Now we have entered into the sawmill. This is where we saw the logs to match the manufacturing of our 1, 2, and 3-strip floors. To cut the log, we use band saws. In order not to cause any damage to the log, the blocks and boards which are produced end up in a cradle and are then carefully placed on the conveyor. This prevents cracks and pressure marks. About 60 to 70,000 square meters of oak, ash, beech, red oak, and European maple are sawed at the mill every year. Other types of wood are bought pre-cut. After the logs have been sawed and piled, they're transported by truck to the lumberyard for air drying, which can take up to 10 months. The slow drying outdoors preserves the high quality of the log. At CARES, there are 22 kiln dryers and 1 moving kiln dryer with 6 channels. To heat the dryers, which is the single most energy-consuming process, waste products from the sawmill, such as sawdust, bark, and splinters, are used. The drying time varies greatly between 2 and 50 days, depending on wood species and dimension of the log. One of the secrets behind producing a quality product is found in the drying process. It's essential for the quality of the product that the degree of moisture of each single layer is right. After we have dried the boards to the right degree of moisture content, the important middle layer of each board, called the core, is manufactured. To begin with, the boards are sawed into the right length and then into lamellas. These are sorted manually, discarding lamellas which have knot holes that are too big or contain too much resin. A made out of birch plywood is put to improve the durability of the short side joint. Afterwards, the lamellas are lifted and fit onto the backing veneer, which has already been glued, and then proceed to the press. When the piece comes out of the press, the glue has hardened and it is time to saw it once more into separate cores. The core plays a very important part during the whole lifetime of the floor. The idea behind the lamella construction is to minimize the natural movement of the wood. In comparison, the movement of a lamella construction is less than a fourth of what it would have been with a solid board. This means that cracks between the boards can be reduced and even eliminated if you use boards with lamella construction, and that you can reduce the size of the expansion gap around the walls. To guarantee the quality of the core, every board is examined using laser and cameras. If a board has gaps between the lamella, which are too big for instance, the board is sorted out manually, then adjusted and returned to the flow. The cores which are produced are piled and then transported to a climate-controlled room, waiting to become a part of a future floor. We have now come to the hardwood flow, which is the starting point of what is to become the top layer of the floor. The strips, which have now the right moisture content, are sorted into different lengths. Defects, such as cracks or big nuts, are marked with a chalk. The chalk can be detected by a camera, which sends data to a computer containing information about how far it's been between the marks. It optimizes the use of the strips and sends a signal to the saw where to cut and in which lengths. When the strips have been cut, they're automatically sorted according to length and then sent on to further sorting. The first step is to plane all four sides of the blocks and to cut their short sides at right angles. Afterwards, each block is divided into strips, which are sorted after looks. During this manual process, several persons are sitting side by side, each responsible for a specific category or look. There is also a mechanical inspection, where a camera linked to powerful computers examines the strips. When the strips have been examined by the computer, they are sorted into different piles, each pile representing a specific look. Please note that the various looks do not affect the quality. All boards Cares produce are the same high quality, even if their looks vary. Now it's time to mix the lengths of the strips to the desired pattern. Two strip boards are manufactured in practically the same way. After the blocks have been planed on all sides, they're divided into strips and then arranged into a pattern. Before we glue the strips together to form a wear layer, a robot is used to put the strips in the fixture. When the desired pattern has been achieved, it's time to glue the strips together to form a wear layer. A layer corresponds to the size of the board. This manufacturing method has been put into practice in order to avoid gaps between the strips. Now it's time to join the wear layer to the core. The core, which has been pre-glued, is fitted onto the wear layer and then put into the press. The heat and high pressure harden the glue. To make each board traceable, a manufacturing number is stamped onto the back of the board. Afterwards, the boards are sanded. Despite the fact that the joints between the strips of the boards are almost 100% tight, the boards are filled with filler. and then most of the filler is sanded off. A manual control of the sanding result is, of course, necessary. Now the surface of the board is ready for treatment. The surface of the floor is, visually, the most important part of it. The surface treatment should therefore be strong enough to withstand normal wear and tear, but yet so thin that the wood feel isn't concealed. For us at Cares, looks and functionality are equally important, which is the reason why we use an extra strong lacquer. A very thin layer is enough to provide a strong, durable surface that will last for a very long time. Cares uses a lacquer which has been cured with ultraviolet light. Using a UV cured finish, you obtain a surface treatment which hardens at a fraction of a second, which means that the lacquer has been completely cured by the time the board leaves the line. The lacquer is applied in many layers to achieve the right look and functionality. At Cares, we make the wood lock joint after the surface treatment in order to achieve sharp edges. This means, for you as a customer, that the joints between the boards are practically invisible. Not only does the wood lock joint ensure fast installation, but also maintains a superior strength during the lifetime of the floor. To be able to guarantee that the floor has the right profile, we test the joints several times every hour. These tests comprise of ensuring that the boards fit together, and also that the boards fit with the floors we produced last year, for instance. Testing is made with precision steel gauges. The quality of each board is inspected before it leaves Cares. Holding it against the light from a low source makes it easy to see indentations, while light from above shows color variations. Before the protective wrapping is put around the package, the boards are placed surface to surface. A protective shield of shrink wrap is put around the package, which is then sent into the kiln where the plastic shrinks. This protects the floor during shipment. Floors and fittings are sent from Cares' enormous warehouse to our distributors all over the world. Today, Cares is exporting to 48 countries with more than 8,000 distributors. It's the combination of tradition and high technology development that has placed us in a world-leading position. Cares is a company which constantly moves forward and develops. Continuous research on the effects of various climates and temperatures, as well as durability and light, enables us to provide our products with a 30-year guarantee, while constant development of new products ensure that we retain our leading position.